Now, it's a brave soul that takes on a story about pictures and the radio, but we know John Watt was the man for the job. Never let it be said that he's feared a challenge. He's took a brave ween of photos himself for the Coleraine Chronicle, so he knows a good picture when he sees you. So does the two boys he's along with.
I'm Gilbert Lennox, and I'm originally from Armagh. I moved a couple of years ago to live with my wife up in County Antrim, near Clough-Mills, between Clough-Mills and Lochgale.
And I'm Alistair Hamill, and I'm born and bred County Antrim. Like Gilbert, you'll find me out and about all sorts of various hunts, typically very late at night. I really like nighttime photography and astrophotography, so down at the Giant's Causeway, on my own, out at the end of the stones in the wee small hours.
That's the attraction, we're sad people.
No friends.
No friends, lonely, sad people.
Well, I know, Gilbert, that you would photograph the dark hedges now and again.
I would, yes. I mean, it's not far from where I live, and it's a wonderful avenue of beech trees, about 300 years old, that was planted. They're beginning to show their age, a bit like myself, and they're a bit looking gnarled, and a wee bit of the hair's gone, but they're still there, and they're really worth it. In fact, I think it's a major tourist attraction for people coming in, so that's why I have to go in unearthly hours of the morning to get there on my own.
Well, you never seen this dark lady that's supposed to roam out there at times?
Well, no.
I think that was a very honest answer there. It was indeed. Well, we're looking at the end of yours here, Gilbert. That's the dark hedges, and it's in black and white.
It is.
And it's been colour photos has been gone now for a fair while. so I think it was a Scotsman that actually made the first colour picture. Is that right?
Now, you know more than I do about that.
Well, I'm told out the way back about 1860 there was a Scotsman, and I can't remember his name now, but he was the first to get a colour photo, and he photographed about a tartan. That wasn't surprising, of course. But that's taking us away from your picture here. Okay. This is black and white there.
That was taken early in the morning. I'd actually been up on the north coast for sunrise, and I was heading home, and I noticed that somebody had actually lit a fire in a field close by, so the smoke was spreading through the hedges, giving that. Maybe it was the dark lady, who knows? Anyway, so I took the photograph, but it's the architecture of the trees, it's the shape, it's the textures, and it's the misty smoke going through in the early morning. So that's what made the photograph for me.
Well, I know, Alistair, that you've actually captured the North Antrim coast very differently from the Maesters would photograph it, because you got the Aurora Borealis, or the Northern Lights.
Yeah, I have been very fortunate to have caught them on a number of occasions. I first caught them in October 2013 at Dunluce, and it was an amazing experience. I just went out at around about 9 o'clock at night. This was in October, so it was dark at that stage, and I could just see a faint glow along the northern horizon. And I get the camera set up, and you can't really see too much with the naked eye, but once you get the camera set up, the camera can pick up more light, and this faint glow appeared, and I was amazed. This is the first time I saw it. Little did I know that 15 minutes later the whole thing was going to kick off, and I would describe it like World War II searchlights going up into the sky. These pillars of light vertically went up into the sky and gradually just moved across majestically at the horizon, and 15 minutes later they're gone. And if I had been there half an hour earlier or half an hour later, I would have missed it all.
We're not that far from a great hunt now, both of you here, not that far from Slimish. So is it possible to get the Northern Lights for here?
Just in the course of the last couple of weeks, I've photographed it here about 4 different times.
Well, it's a bit rare talking about photographs from the wireless. So you maybe better describe exactly to our listeners what you got there. Some lovely stuff.
This was around about April of this year. I was standing here beside this little brook that's flowing down off the slopes of Slimish itself, looking up across a kind of the flat area, and Slimish is emerging majestically along the northern horizon. So I was standing here in the dark, and there was a clear glow. You can't see colour. And that's one thing if people are looking for the aurora and go and try and see it with the naked eye. Don't expect to see colour like you will in the photographs.
Well, it's certainly very impressive to me. Well, Gilbert, I have been about Ballantoy Harbour one of the time. I've never seen it looking like this. We're looking across here at the harbour. We're like standing in the car park, and we're looking at the wee fisherman's hut here.
Yes.
Not a hut, it's actually
a boathouse.
It's a stone building anyway. The boathouse, that's what it is.
Yeah.
But as a dramatic, what way did you get that photograph?
Well, that was obviously late at night, and by 20 seconds, long exposure on a tripod, and I had a head torch, which I always have with me anyway when I go out at night.
Something
because
like a coal miner.
So it's exactly like a coal miner, and it's handy if you go out at night. You need to make sure that you're well prepared, you're wrapped up, you've got your head covered, a flask of coffee in the car, and a torch, and your phone, just in case you misstep. It's dangerous around water and rocks. Anyway, down there, I used the head torch to paint the little boathouse a little bit, just to bring it out and bring out the reflection in the water.
Well, that's a good job you're telling me about the light. Now, if I happen to be around Ballintoy Harbour late some night, and I see some boy coming with a light in his head, I'll not be scared, I'll know it's you.
Well, yes, but isn't there a myth about, ghosts around that part?
There would be ghosts, and there's a boy, Fan McCuller, in there.
Yes, well, that's true.
You've never come on him yet, did you?
Not yet, but we've seen traces of him.
Well, we're looking at a photograph of yours now, Alistair, and it's a spectacular look. And here, they're done at the causeway, I can see here, but spectacular sky. What would you get that?
This is the star trails photograph. Sometimes you want to avoid those, but at other times that's exactly the photograph you want to take.
Star trail, could you describe what that is?
Yeah, so the star trails basically is where you have the shutter of the camera open long enough that the stars that look like they're static in the sky, of course, really are moving. Well, in fact, we're moving. The planet's rotating and the stars, therefore, are moving in the sky. But if you open your shutter long enough, the stars will trace these lines out rather than pinpoints, and they're called star trails.
What way did you get the water in this shape here?
Oh, yeah. Now, the water looks like mist. Now, again, that's just because of the long exposure, that if you open up the shutter for a long period of time, all of the movement that takes place that normally your eyes see just gets blurred into each other. So the effect of the star trails and the effect of the water just gives it's that mistiness.
I thought it was steam.
It does, it looks like it. It almost takes you back to whenever the lava was pouring out and forming that you could just imagine the steam coming up out of the water at that stage. But no, it's just the blurred from the long exposure.
Well, I'm certainly very impressed with your photographs, the both of you. You're talking about star trail, well, yours are a couple of stars. The both of you when it comes to taking photos. And Gilbert and Alistair, it's been a great pleasure for me talking to you. And maybe if you got a minute or two, some evening you will come down to my part of the world and show me a thing or two about how to use my Canon and another way, other than automatic.
Thank you very much, son. You bring the coffee and we'll certainly have a great wee night out.
That'll be great.
John Watt, taken there to Gilbert, Lennox and Alistair Hamill.